Today, we are going to rank every single Mazda Miata generation on a tier list, from the one that started a revolution, to the one that almost lost the plot, to the one that brought it all back. 4 generations, 1 definitive ranking, and 0 sugarcoating. This is the Miata tier list nobody asked for but everyone needed. Everyone tells you to just buy a Miata. It's the answer to every question, the solution to every problem, and the car that supposedly fixes your life. But here's the secret nobody tells you. Buying the wrong generation of Miata is the fastest way to turn that dream into a headache. Today, we aren't just listing cars, we are ranking the purity of the world's most beloved roadster. From the flawed genius to the technological perfection. Don't put a single dollar down until you hear where each generation actually lands on the soul meter. And before we go any further, the Miata is not just a car, it is a philosophy. It is Mazda's answer to a question that the rest of the automotive world stopped asking somewhere around 1975. What if driving was still allowed to be fun? What if a car didn't need to weigh 2 tons, didn't need 400 horsepower, didn't need to intimidate you into submission just to make you feel alive? The Miata is the counter-argument. It is the quiet voice in the back of the room that says, actually, less is more. And it has been right for 35 years running. If you want to master the art of the roadster and make sure your garage is filled with the right kind of joy, hit that subscribe button. And for those who take their car care as seriously as their driving, check the product links in the description to keep your ride looking showroom mesh fresh. Now, let's talk about lightness, because this entire conversation lives and dies on one single idea, Jinba Itai, horse and rider as one. The idea that the car and the driver should not feel like 2 separate things, that when you turn the wheel, the car should respond not like you gave it an instruction, but like you had a thought. And the only way to achieve that feeling, truly achieve it, is to strip the car down to its bones. Every kilogram you add to a sports car is a lie you are telling yourself. It is the automotive equivalent of putting on a backpack before a sprint. Weight is the enemy. Weight kills feedback. Weight kills joy. Mazda understood this from day one, and the entire history of the Miata is really just the story of an engineering team fighting a 4-decade war against mass, sometimes winning brilliantly, sometimes losing their nerve, but always coming back to the same truth. Light is right. So with that as our measuring stick, not horsepower, not 0 to 60, not cup holder capacity, let's go through the tier list. 4 generations, 4 very different answers to the same question, and by the end of this video, you will know exactly which one belongs in your garage. I am putting the NA in S tier, and if that surprises you, you have not driven one. The NA is where this whole religion started, and if you spend any time in Miata communities, you will quickly learn that NA owners have a specific look in their eyes. It is the look of someone who has found something true and is mildly concerned that you haven't found it yet. The NA is the original argument. Pop-up headlights, a nose so small you could fit it in a handbag, a cockpit so tight it feels like wearing a car rather than sitting in one. You slide into an NA and the entire world shrinks to just you, a gear shift, and about 115 horsepower that you are going to absolutely wring the neck of because that is the only way this thing makes sense. The steering in an early NA is something I still think about at night. Unassisted, communicative, almost telepathic. You do not steer an NA so much as whisper directions to it. And the 1.6-liter engine, particularly the early twin-cam unit, has this high revving, slightly breathless quality to it. You have to work for the power, you have to commit, and when you do, it rewards you with a sound that is modest but honest. Nothing is pretending to be anything it isn't. The smell of the interior on an old NA, that particular combination of aged vinyl and warm engine bay that seeps through the firewall on a hot afternoon, is something I cannot describe to you in a way that does it justice. You have to experience it. It smells like intention. It smells like someone cared deeply about something small and got it exactly right. But I need to be honest with you, because this is a 2 a.m. garage conversation and not a sales pitch. The NA is archaic in ways that matter. The rust situation on these cars is not a joke. Floor pans, sills, the area behind the rear wheels. You need to get under any NA you are considering buying and look at it with a torch and a healthy sense of dread. The soft top mechanism on older examples can feel like origami designed by someone who is slightly angry. Electronics are rudimentary. Parts, while still available, require patience and research that newer generations simply don't demand. The NA will ask things of you. It will cost you weekends. It will occasionally strand you somewhere inconvenient, and whether that sounds romantic or exhausting tells you everything about whether you should buy one. S tier does not mean easy. S tier means the experience is so pure, so unfiltered, so completely honest about what a sports car is supposed to feel like, that the flaws become part of the charm. The NA is imperfect the way a great song recorded on tape is imperfect. The hiss is part of the music. I am putting the NB in C tier, and I want you to understand that C tier here does not mean bad. It means this is the generation that gives the least back emotionally relative to what it asks of you in terms of identity. The NB is the forgotten middle child of the Miata family, and that is both its curse and its strange kind of charm. The pop-up headlights are gone, Mazda replaced them with fixed projectors, and a lot of people never forgave them for it. But underneath that exterior, the NB is a genuinely competent car. The chassis is stiffer than the NA. The 1.8-liter engine breathes better and pulls with more conviction across the rev range. The later NB2 models from 2001 onward got a revised suspension tune that felt more planted without losing that essential lightness, and the interior has just enough extra polish that you don't feel like you're roughing it every single morning. So why C tier then? Because the NB has an identity problem that no amount of driving can fully fix. It arrived after an icon and before a revival, sandwiched between two generations that both carry stronger emotional narratives. When you park an NB next to an NA, people look at the NA. When you park it next to an ND, people look at the ND. The NB just stands there, being competent and quietly underappreciated, which is genuinely unfair but also genuinely true. On a back road on a clear morning with nobody watching, the NB is an absolute joy. It is balanced, it is willing, it communicates well and rewards commitment, but on the pure emotional scale we are using today, the scale that measures soul and not lap times, C tier is where it lands. Capable, honest, just not the one that makes your heart do something strange when you see it parked across the street. I am putting the NC in B tier, and here is where half the comments are going to be people either thanking me or absolutely furious with me, and I am completely fine with both outcomes. The NC gets called a boat, it gets called soft, it gets called the generation where Mazda forgot the point, and I understand the frustration. The NC is heavier than the NB by around 100 kilograms. It is larger in every dimension. The steering on early models got power assistance that filtered out some of the road texture that previous generations passed straight through your palms. If you came from an NA and climbed into an NC back-to-back, you felt the difference immediately. It felt like Mazda had been listening to people who complained, and I am not sure those were the right people to listen to, but here is my defense of the NC, and I mean it sincerely. The NC is the best daily Miata ever made, full stop. The 2.0-liter engine produces 160 horsepower in later models, with a power delivery that is smooth and usable and never leaves you feeling like you are working too hard just to keep up with traffic. The interior is legitimately comfortable by roadster standards. The chassis, despite the extra weight, is more composed at higher speeds than any previous generation, and the power retractable hardtop is one of the cleverest pieces of engineering Mazda ever put on this car, a proper metal roof that folds away in 12 seconds and makes the NC viable as a year-round car in a way that a fabric soft top simply cannot match when it is raining on a Tuesday morning and you still have somewhere to be. B tier because it made compromises, and some of those compromises were the wrong ones, but it also made your life genuinely easier, and there is no shame in admitting that matters. I am putting the ND in A tier, and I want to explain exactly why it is not S tier, because that decision is going to bother some people, and it should. The ND is, by every measurable standard, the best Miata ever built. Let me say that clearly before I complicate it. When Mazda developed the ND, they went back to the NA's original weight target and essentially declared war on every gram that had crept into the car over 3 generations. The result is a Miata that weighs less than 1,000 kilograms in its lightest form, which in the modern automotive landscape of bloated crossovers and electrically assisted everything feels almost radical. The ND is Mazda looking at 30 years of mission drift and saying, no, we remember what this car is supposed to be. The chassis on the ND is a genuinely special thing. The way it rotates through a corner, the way the rear steps out with just enough provocation and just enough warning, the way the whole car communicates with you through the seat and the wheel and the pedals simultaneously. It is technically the most accomplished driving experience this nameplate has ever offered. The ND2's 184 horsepower delivers with a linearity and a responsiveness that makes every rev feel intentional. The gear shift is short and precise. The steering is sharp. Every single system in this car has been tuned by people who are clearly all thinking about the same thing at the same time, which is how do we make this feel alive? And yet, a tier, not S tier, because the ND is so good at being a sports car that it sometimes forgets to have a personality. It is optimized in a way that earlier Miata simply were not, and optimization, as wonderful as it is to experience, can also be a kind of erasure. When you drive an ND, you feel the engineering. When you drive an NA, you feel the car. And those are two completely different sensations, and only one of them makes you fall in love. Here is my personal stance, and I need you to understand that this is completely irrational, and I am fully aware of it. Despite everything I just said about the ND, despite the fact that I know intellectually it is the superior machine in almost every category, I find myself still wanting an NA. I think about it more than I should, and I have spent a long time trying to figure out why. Because I think the answer matters beyond just my own taste in cars. I think we crave the flaws in old cars because the flaws are proof that something human made them. The NA has imperfections that no committee would have approved. The way the chassis flexes slightly on rough roads, the way the heater takes its time deciding whether it wants to work, the way the whole car vibrates at exactly 68 miles per hour in a way that is slightly annoying and also somehow completely endearing. These are the fingerprints of engineers who were figuring something out in real time, and they give the car a texture that perfection simply cannot replicate. The ND was built with the lessons of 35 years behind it. The NA was built with hope and instinct and the terrifying freedom of not yet knowing whether any of this would work, and you can feel that difference every single time you sit in one. The ND is the better car, the NA is the better feeling, and depending on who you are, those two things point in very different directions. The Miata isn't a car, it's a feeling. Now that you know which one fits your soul, go find it before they're all gone. Subscribe to stay in the loop, and don't forget to check the description for the gear that protects your investment. See you in the next one.